Lovely. Good evening, Zambia. Good evening, Africa, and warm welcome to the bigger program right on KBN TV from Zambia's capital city, Lusaka. With me, Innocent Piri. You can simply call me IP. I have in the studio this evening, of course, leaders coming from the People's Pact movement, of course, which has endorsed the media guru himself, who is Dr. Fred Membe, leader of the Socialist Party. Now, this is in preparations for the general elections coming up in August this year, as Zambians will decide to elect the next leaders at ward level, parliamentary, local council chairpersons, mayoral, as well as presidential level. Allow me to introduce my guests this evening. I will start with the Movement for Change and Equity, M4C Vice President in charge of mobilization. I hope I got that correctly. Dr. Kaluwa Simiemba. He joins me on set. Doc, welcome and good evening to you.
Good evening and a pleasant viewing to the viewers.
Good to see you.
Thank you so much.
In the background, you didn't mention to me that I seem to have changed. What has changed about me? On a lighter note.
The last time we saw you had full blown hair, but I don't know if it's economic operation or maybe you've developed new airports that are evident of a takeoff.
I will leave it there, Doc. Thank you so much. Let's invite I mean, introduce you as the media guru, because, I mean, we don't stop learning from you, Dr. Fred Membe. You are the pioneer of where we are today ourselves. I give you a lot of respect, I personally. And I believe this could be the position of some of my colleagues in the media. Doc, welcome and good evening to you.
Good evening. Thank you very much for hosting me. And
thank you so much for hosting us here.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's get into it. Dr. Fred Membe, you've been picked as a presidential candidate ahead of the elections, the general election come August this year, under the People's Movement. How does it feel to be among those who have been chosen, or the chosen ones?
It's a huge responsibility. It's not an easy undertaking. It's like they'll put a yoke on your shoulders, on your neck. But it's work that has to be done.
Right.
Those who made that decision have their reasons for doing so. We can't run away from responsibility.
Right.
In the social teachings of the Catholic Church, actually, it's a sin to refuse to offer your services when some talent is deposited in you.
Right.
So we have to do this job. A better society does not come on its own, like manna from the skies. It doesn't drop like that. We have to struggle for it. We have to work for it. And it's our duty to create a better society, a more fair, a more just, a more humane society. A society with compassion. A society with love for fellow human beings. We have a challenge today. One of our fellow human beings, one of our fellow citizens, one who was at one time one of our presidents in this country, has been lying, his body has been lying in the morgue for over 8 months now. That doesn't show a fair society.
Right.
That doesn't show a society that can be said to be just. That doesn't show humaneness. You can't keep a family mourning for this long. Their lives are at standstill for more than 8 months now.
Right.
They are in pain. They need closure. Ichitumbi chaba Edgar Lungu belongs to his family. Chabene. It belongs to his widow, Mkamfwil. It belongs to the children. It belongs to his relatives.
Right.
And lastly, to all of us, his friends and followers. But the first priority, the first responsibility, the first ownership lies with his family. Let's allow his family to have a closure to this issue. Let's show some fairness. Let's show some justice. Let's show some humaneness. Let's show some compassion. It's painful to have your husband, to have your father, to have your uncle, to have your brother, to have your nephew in the morgue for over 8 months. Over a claim that doesn't make sense. The claim of Mr. Hichilema over the body of Edgar does not make sense. Let the family bury the remains of Edgar in the manner they deem fit, in the manner they want. And let's give them support in that. Let's play a role that they want us to play. Let's accompany them in a way that they want us to accompany them. He was our president. Whether we agreed with him or not, he was the president of our republic. For 7 years, he led our country. He did some good things and probably also some bad things. But that's life. We are not led by angels. We are led by human beings with all the failings of human beings. Let's put a closure to this issue. I ask Mr. Hichilema, I plead with Mr. Hichilema, Mr. Hichilema, let Mr. Lungu's family bury their loved one. They loved him. You may not love him the same way they loved him. They loved him. Let them bury their man. Let them bury their father. Let them bury the husband, the uncle. Give them the support that they deserve, but it should not be on your terms. And Mr. Hichilema, you can't have it your way all the time. On everything you have to win. For you, everything is a competition that you have to win. Even burial of a fellow citizen should be a competition for you that you have to win. This is not Bill 7 which you had to win by Mingalato. No, there can't be a Mingalato over the burial of Edgar. It's a painful thing. Let them have a closure. On that appeal, Doc, as you appeal to President Hakainde Hichilema, do you also believe on a dignified burial as the state is demanding? Dignified burial of Mr. Lungu is by his family. Anybody who is buried by prisoners, who is buried by strangers, there's no dignity. That's why wherever you die, they will have to find your relatives wherever they may be and hand over the body to them for you to be buried. When you are not buried by your relatives, when you are not buried by your children, your wife, there's no dignity in that. Even Christ in his grave, his mother had to go there. The mother had to go there. Dignity is brought by family. That's the first relationship that God has given us. And the most important relationship God has given us, that of family. Yes, there's a bigger family. But the nucleus family, the family of your children, of your wife, of your nephews, of your nieces, of your uncles, of your brothers and sisters is more important than any other relationship. Our relationship as citizens of this country with Mr. Lungu is secondary. The primary relationship is with his family. That's where the dignity comes from. If we support them in their wish, then Mr. Lungu will be buried with maximum dignity. Right, let's get into it. For those that have just joined us, remember you are watching us on DSTV channel 279, GoTV channel 7, and Topsa Decoder channel 102.
I have Dr. Membe, of course, also joining Dr. Fred Membe, coming from the Socialist Party, and together they are under the People's Pact movement. Doc, you are among the political parties that have decided to come together. And after so many cries coming from the people of Zambia and looking at the time, people say, look, time is gone. We need to see direction. Which leader is going to lead us? You came together and decided to endorse President Dr. Fred Membe here as your flag bearer. Take us through. The question is, you have your own political party, among others. Why did you pick on Comrade President Dr. Fred Membe as your flag bearer?
Thank you very much. May I just say, may the soul of Edgar Chagwa Lungu rest in eternal peace. And indeed, a closure is something that is cherished by every well-meaning Zambian. Maybe only Hichilema and the UPND don't want that. Having said that, the Zambian people have been yearning for a united opposition front. Looking at the various and enhanced mingalato of the UPND under Hakainde Hichilema, doctor plus doctor plus doctor plus, he's got I think 5-10 PhDs now. Maybe one of them is coming from somewhere, but this Mingalato thing has worried Zambians. In a normal democracy, we shouldn't even be sitting here. It is every political party gets to the Zambian people, puts its manifesto, and they choose the best. But for Zambians to consistently demand for a united opposition, there is something terribly grave in the UPND under Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, or in Mr. Hakainde Hichilema himself. Having said that, we have been assembled, and I want to make this very, very clear to the Zambian people.
Right.
This is not an alliance. This is an ensemble. The Zambian people themselves, in all walks of life, decided that they have a vehicle which has not been registered today. It was registered even before we registered the Movement for Change and Equality. In 2011, they registered the People's Pact, and they have been using it in various elections to actually propel and support good candidates who they deem fit to be that which person can lead us from season to season. In 2011, the People's Pact all around worked to support the candidature of Michael Chilufya, and he became president. In 2015, the same People's Pact worked all around. These are citizens of walks of life to propel Edgar Chagwa Lungu. When he was a lame duck, he didn't have resources, he didn't have the so-called intelligentsias, he didn't have anything that you can talk about. But the People's Pact, the people themselves, supported that candidature, and he became president. Of course, in 2021, I don't think Hakainde Hichilema was supported by the People's Party. I don't know why. But here is this People's Pact of 2025 going forward. It has come with an enhanced realization that leadership is not only political actors and the politicians. There is leadership in the clergy. There's leadership from the trade unions. There's leadership from the student unions. There's leadership from the corporates. There's people who do business. There's leadership from the farmers. There's also leadership from the traditional leaders. All these and the other forms of leadership are part and parcel of this country called the Republic of Zambia. And all this leadership you talk about, with the exclusion of political leadership you call politicians, is excluded from the governance of this country. So you have very few people monopolizing the leading of Zambia and providing what you call a governance posture. It's this realization, especially from older people in society, which have said, no, I think we're missing it somewhere. Politicians have been failing us over and over and over and over.
Right.
And the recent happening is a very big pointer. The leading opposition and the biggest opposition political party in the opposition, called the Patriotic Front, their behavior in Parliament over Bill 7 was a very big eye-opener.
Right.
Secondly, the cluster in a by-election in Kasama of all the Patriotic Front except one, all the Patriotic Front plus the MP of Kasama Central, the councillors in the mayoral election, they all drifted from their political party to come and support
The ruling party.
the ruling party. That level of betrayal from political actors has worried the vast majority of the Zambians. And hence, the resetting of the People's Pact. The dynamics have changed. So, it calls for a new thinking on how this People's Pact is going to function. To choose a leader and also to support and propel that leadership into government.
Right.
The optics now are that it's not just choosing a flag bearer,
Right.
it's choosing a true servant. In their own assessment, a true servant must be chosen. In their own assessment, a true servant must be tuamulongelesha, batulongelesha.
Yeah, I'm going.
Fish bala tulongelesha. The people of Zambia are challenging this and that we need solution and resolution on this and that. When you're in government, these are the things to concentrate on, not anything else or beyond this. This is very, very important.
Right.
So the People's Pact is more or less now reset as a covenant with the people of Zambia.
Right.
Dr. Fred Membe has not chosen me.
Right.
Simuyemba has not chosen Dr. Fred Membe. We didn't sit to come into the People's Pact. I, for one, I didn't even know about it. I came to learn about it a few weeks ago. I was invited. He was invited. Every one of us in there has been invited. And there are many, many people who will be reviewed, who have been invited. On the leadership function or portal of the People's Pact, these concerned leaders from all walks of life and society have taken upon themselves. They are only ceding, the initiators, they are only ceding 30 to 40% to political actors in us.
Right.
60% to 70% will be reserved to them.
Right.
Because otherwise, they are also the majority.
Correct.
The people of Zambia are the majority. The political, I don't think you will even make 1%.
You are
So
a
giving
few.
us even 30% of control, muchinshifye. Ukwe bati abani ntungulushi bala bama representatives besu.
Right.
Otherwise, Muchinshifie no Luse, but they are saying we have to all participate in the governance of this country because they no longer can trust a politician 100%. Looking at history and looking at what is happening currently.
Just on there, I'll come back to you. Let's hear from Doc and how prepared you are. I know that you've been bestowed with a huge responsibility now. The country has spent 5 years, 4 years bickering around. The church has tried to advise you in the opposition to unite. When the late President Dr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu was still alive, he came on board and said, look, he singled you out. He saw the prominence in you, perhaps, and perhaps maybe the leadership that Dr. Fred Membe, can you come? We have to unite. That was the message of the late ECL. Still the country, or you from the oppositions, you don't seem to be coming together. But now, you seem to be the main man so far because you've been endorsed by a quite number of people, as Doc has mentioned here. The question is, how ready are you to lead this movement, as it were, going forward, with a few months remaining before the elections?
Vatila infu mushitungulu lafia. Avateka avachitefintu vantu. Leaders lead, the people govern. If it was left to me alone, this task would have been impossible. I would not be able to carry it out. Even you hosting us for this interview, you are contributing to the construction of leadership, to the work of the leadership that has been chosen. It cannot be done by a single person. What we are looking for is not a Messiah, because a Messiah we already have in Christ, and there will be no other Christ. Right. What we are looking for is not a single genius, but a collective genius. Unfortunately, the way things are structured is that on the ballot paper, there has to be a name of an individual and not a collective. If it was possible to have a collective on the ballot paper, I'll be the happiest person. But there will be a name put of individuals, us as individuals. We may be 20 of us. Unity is not an easy thing to achieve, especially where society allows pluralism, allows multipartism. It's not easy to achieve unity. And we see it in our general life as a nation. We have so many chiefdoms. We don't have one chiefdom. Even within a chiefdom, there are so many chiefs doing their own with a certain levels of autonomy as well. We are a Christian nation with so many Christian denominations, so many. Even within a certain category like evangelical, there are so many churches within that. Can you unite them? Yes, even in the mother bodies, we have more than one mother body. The trade unions, we have a proliferation of trade unions. We in the Socialist Party are a workers' party. And we would like to see much more unity in the trade unions. We would like to see one union, one industry, or one industry, one union. We would like to see one confederation. But today we have, I don't know if it's 3 or 4 confederations. In the education sector, we have so many unions.
Quite a lot.
In the mining sector, we used to have MOS only. Today we have so many. I was on the Copper Belt this past week. We met some trade union leaders from the mining industry. We raised this question with them. They also want unity.
Right.
But they are failing to achieve it. They are failing to achieve it. And they need help. On their own, they are saying they will not be able to unite their unions. And the lack of unity in the unions in the mining sector is really affecting the workers. Today, if you look at KSM employees, they are all working for contractors on a 3-month contract, because the contractors also have got 3 months renewable contracts. So they can't give you longer contracts than their own contracts. So these people, the conditions of service have been becoming poorer and poorer and poorer. They don't have even gratuity because they don't go over 12 months in terms of contract. The salaries are so low. The skilled workers are getting about 4,300. The unskilled workers are getting 2,800. The conditions that they used to have are gone. The unions are impotent. For the last 3 or 4 decades, we have never had a strike, a meaningful strike in this country, because the unions are so weak. They have been fragmented. And the employers play them around. So it's not only the politicians that are failing to unite. When you achieve any form of unity, you celebrate it. We want it, but it's not easy. The politicians want it. The traditional leaders want it. The religious leaders want it. The citizens of this country want the opposition to unite. And it's not only for us, just political unity of political players, but we also need the unity of all our people as a force, because the politician is not the only leader. We have the traditional leadership. They are authentic leaders of our people. We have the religious leaders. They are authentic leaders of our people. We have the business community. It's also providing leadership. We have the trade unions. In their weak state, they are still leaders of our people. We have the professionals, to which I would include the journalists. I would include you in the category of professionals. You are also leaders of our people. You set the agenda for public discourse. You maintain the values of society. You call everybody to order on the path society should take. So you are leaders, providing leadership. And you also need to participate in the construction of the leadership that should take charge of the country. And also in ensuring that the policies that society adopts are the right ones, are the appropriate ones, and they can take us out of the poverty levels we are in today. We have very high poverty levels, extremely high poverty levels. 60%, according to the 2022 June-July survey. 60% poverty levels. I hear now we are hitting the 70s. And that's too high poverty levels. In a country where also the population growth rate is so high. The national average population growth rate is 3.5%. The urban areas are hitting 4%, which means every 12 years to 15 years, the population is doubling. But what policies do we have in place to ensure that in 12 years, 15 years, we'll be able to take care of a population of 44 million Zambians? Because today we are 22 million. In 12 to 15 years, that will double. How is education going to be like in 12, 15 years, according to the policies we have today? What about housing? What about water and sanitation? What about jobs? Health services, transport, urutoshi. How are things going to be?
When you talk about poverty levels in the country and the increase you've just mentioned, is this a political, a message coming from Dr. Membe and the People's Movement, or it is a realistic or approach or what is happening on the ground, because when you ask those in power today, they'll tell you that Zambians have come to understand the good side of the UPND and how they have transformed the economy from where we're coming from as a nation to where we are. I've interviewed quite a number of people in government, including Honorable Mwetu, I think 2 weeks ago. He did mention that from where he stands, Zambians are quite happy with the way the economy is so far.
I'm not politicking. I'm not even talking about the UPND or the opposition. I'm talking about us as a people, as a nation. Right. The figures I was giving you are not from my head.
Correct.
They are coming from Zamstats, the government agents. These are arising from the 2022 June-July survey that was carried out by Zamstats. Zamstats produces these figures so that the planners, the leaders of this country, of our people, can see where we are and be able to plan where to take us. If your population is increasing by 3.5% per annum, on average, 4% in the urban areas, what that means is every 15 years, 12 to 15 years, your population will double. They gave us a population in 2022 of 21.9 million. Yeah. Today, as I'm talking to you, it has exceeded 22 million. Which means in 15 years, you'll be looking after 44 million people plus. You are struggling to look after 22 million people today in terms of education, in terms of health services, in terms of housing, in terms of food and nutrition, in terms of jobs, and so on. You have so many children on the streets. So many. You have so many young people in the compounds without jobs. They are leaving school, they are leaving college, they are leaving university to find no jobs for them waiting. They are starting to produce children who they can't look after. This is not politics. These are issues that cannot even be tackled by a politician alone. Political leadership is not enough to deal with this. We need societal leadership. We need a leadership that includes all our leaders. The leaders I've mentioned, the traditional leadership, the religious leadership, the business leadership, the intellectuals, the trade unionists, to come together to tackle these challenges. These are huge challenges. I'm not playing politics. The figures speak for themselves. Our population used to double after every 20 years. Now it's doubling 12 to 15 years. What policies do we have? Let's interrogate, regardless of what's brought these policies. Let's just look at our education policies. Are they adequate today? They are inadequate. They are not providing us with the education that we need in terms of quality and quantity. What about the health services? And so on. What I'm saying, if we are failing to meet the demands, the needs of today, with a population of 22 million, what policies do we have in place to be able to meet the demands, the requirements, the needs of a doubled population in 12, 15 years' time? This is not cheap politics. And you don't need to be a politician to be concerned about these issues. But we are saying to overcome these issues, it's not enough just to change a government. Mwafunyapo kateko olipo nechipani chakwe mwesabikapo na ombi mwakonkanyapo kuchita shimofine. Ichilefu aikwa teku chinja fechipani chireteka na kateka kuchinje mitekere. Ngata tuchinjishe mitekere takuleko tuleya. And you kuchinje mitekere, it requires the participation of all our people's leaders. People participate through their leaders. You need to bring all these other leaders to share in the governance of the country. We have been ruled by politicians for 61 years now. And we are where we are because of the political leadership that we have had, because of the way we have led society. We are lucky. God has given us all that we need to survive and prosper. But ila lesa tapera kuminwa palamika fie, lesa nat palamika fionse. He has given us good rains, plenty water. We have 40% of the water in the SADC region. He has given us good soils. He has given us minerals on top of that. But we are still not able to use what God has given us to live better. Our relatives, our friends in the Arab world, who he gave nothing but deserts and he put some oil under that sand, they are able to live better from the oil he has given them. In fact, when you put it on the scale, he has given us more than probably he has given the Europeans, he has given the Asians, and so on. But here we are at the bottom in terms of poverty.
What should we do? Hold on there, Doc. I'll come back to you. Dr. Simiamba, what should we do? I think when you listen to Doc offloading all these problems we have in our country, but not only problems, he also flips the coin or the script. He also begins to provide solutions, the possible solutions, what we can do to become a country which could be admired by the European nations out there. He talks about the minerals, he talks about the waters, he talks about the agricultural, atmosphere we have in our country. As a people's movement, or rather people's pact movement, are you the final solution to all these problems? And how can we transform as a nation once and for all? Doc says, look, it's not about changing from the IP political party, if at all there's one. It's not about changing from Socialist Party political party or the UPND political party and then you usher in your political party. But it's about how do we govern ourselves going forward. 60 years or 61 years after independence, we are still here as a nation. As People's Pact movement, what should we do?
Thank you very much. Very, very loaded question. I think what you've heard is a very firm realization of truth. We are of this realization that leadership in the past has put us, political leadership for that matter, has put us where we are. Now is a time to kuchinjemi tekele.
Right.
Kuchinjemi tekele, as the president is saying here, is where you espouse one, truthfulness, inclusiveness,
Right.
and you bring all these forms of leadership which is existent in our country. And let us work together. And this working together must be structured. So it's not mob psychology. It becomes structured,
Right.
such that you are talking about certain endpoints and how to reach the endpoints. So the resolution is that we in the People's Pact come with this, that every single person in this country matters. Every single leader matters. Not only political leader. We are emphasizing on that because that has been the missing link. If you ask the clergy, they've got their own challenges. You ask them how the church and the ministry, by the way, a Christian nation, how it can be enhanced, how they can deal with the challenges, they'll give you solutions. If you come to the farmers, you engage the leadership in the farming communities, they'll be able to tell you how these challenges can be overcome. You come to the trade unions, the labor movement, they will tell you exactly how these challenges can be overcome, and so forth and so forth. Now, here is a situation where in the past, we feel political leaders are know-it-all. Because I'm a president, because I'm a minister, because I'm MP, because I'm mayor, then I know it all. And it has actually proved that the know-it-all syndrome does not work, and it has not worked. So the leadership we are trying to espouse and invoke is that leadership that is very inclusive. And it must be participatory by all people in Zambia, but it must be structured. And therefore, even the policies, you see, there's been a notion in the past where political parties come with manifestos from Lusaka, going to Shangombo, going to Chama. This is what I'm going to do for you, without any dim of consultation with the people out there. Because we think we know it better than them. But this leadership you are seeing turning around the tables is that even in manifestos, I'm sure you've seen the Socialist Manifesto, you've not seen the M4CE Manifesto. What we are saying as a realization, let us depart from top down. Can we go to the people, consult on them, engage them? The solutions are within them. Then we structure it together, and then we say, how do we move from here going forward? You've seen the UPND, especially in issues like Bill 7, they say, we've consulted, but which personnel, when you put them under pressure, that's when they dust their bags and they start running to go and consult. Within 2 days, they've had 11,000, 12,000 consultations. Counting to every 3 minutes they were talking to a person. That kind of consultation is rocket science. What we are talking about here, and we are bringing to the people of Zambia, is an inclusive government where citizens will participate in the formulation of policy, in the restructuring of the economy. They have to be consulted. You don't have to be doctors to restructure your life. You know what is your human need. Everybody knows what is food is. Everybody knows what shelter is. Everybody knows what a road is. Everybody knows when the pain in the head, you've got a headache, you know, you don't have to be told. But how does a resolution come? You sit together and somebody say, in fact they say the best doctor, you ask the medical doctors, the best doctor is a patient himself. But if the doctors come with the syringes, you are sick, bakola say nyereti nicho balekula sa tabishiwe balekula sa meishi balekula sa shani, you find that there will be no solution. They sit down with the patient. Where is it paining? What is troubling you? What is your history? Where have you come? What is this in your family? Is there? You sit and they come up and then they say, oh, that is diagnosis. That engagement is diagnosis. And they come to say, now, here I think Uyu Alayoku from the Future Clinic. And you go to other aspects of them. Or they prescribe medicine because they've engaged and they've come to know, because they're trained, they come to know. So what we are talking about is that even public servants are very important in the governance and leadership discourse. Apparently, we have seen politicization of all government institutions, adulterating them to fit into the whims and thinking of those in leadership. This has become very dangerous, and it has not helped us, where the whole country, the whole population is crying, is complaining, is not at peace, is stressed. But you mentioned one, that gentleman from Choma Mwetwa, who in his own view, and he used the words rightfully, I was hearing, in his own thinking, And you see, when leaders lead by opinions, they become opinionated and they can't listen to advice. They can't even listen to the complaints of the people. They can't even consult because they are opinionated. So our way of doing things going forward is from our ensemble to now what we are going to do. Before elections, we're going to engage the people who are just coming from the Copper Belt. Doctor here, President is saying that we engage the miners. Why is this engagement important? Because we know we don't know it. We have to ask, and the people will tell us. Ask and you shall be given. This sounds like simple words, but they are very big concepts, and they are very useful concepts in the way you govern. Servant leadership, you always ask, engage, consult, and you are told. So our way of doing things is that we are going to engage everybody. And when you say everybody, we mean everybody. Because some people have been playing rhetoric to say, no one shall be left behind. That's not what it is. That's not what we are saying. We have to engage everybody. But it must be structured.
Right.
It must be structured.
Let's hear from the People's Pact presidential candidate, Dr. Fred Membe. The workers are watching the program right now, and just a few days ago, the government announced 700 kwacha, which is a salary increment for the civil servants. When I go through your manifesto here, I know that you don't just represent the Socialist Party, but you are representing the People's Pact movement. But however, permit me from this second to borrow some of the wordings in here where you are advocating for a better, conditions of service for the workers. And earlier on you mentioned that in Zambia we've got a weaker, trade union or unionism which is going on, which can't advocate for better or improved working conditions for the workers. And they are watching the program right now. Some are civil servants, and someone will say the government just a few days ago increased our pay by 700 kwacha. What is your take over that? Is this the approach of the People's Pact movement going forward?
Comrade IP, I think the starting point is that this country is ours.
Right.
Nilesa uwatupele ekyalo eki. Nilesa uwatuletere muno. Ekyalo eki kyesu. Balitupera kulilesa. Kyesu. It's not for other people, it's ours. And it's ours to develop. To develop so that we can live better. It's not the responsibility of someone from some other place, some other country, some other continent to come and develop our country. It's our responsibility. Given to us by God. It's a responsibility given to us by God. So that we develop this country and live better. God wants us to live better. He doesn't want us to live in poverty and in hardships. But we have to work to earn a living. If we don't own the economy of this country, the country that is ours, the economy is owned by other people. It's controlled by other people. The benefits that we'll get from this economy will be very small, will be very limited. So how do we own the economy? You own the economy by owning and controlling the economic activities in this economy. We were talking about unemployment, very high levels of unemployment. Why should we have such high levels of unemployment when God has given us everything? Abundance of minerals. Young people are going in the bushes, in the rural areas, to dig gold. running away from poverty, trying to escape unemployment. They go into areas where there's gold to dig and other minerals. We send soldiers, special forces, commandos, to go and exterminate them, to go and fumigate them. Some are back. They are back from these areas, sitting in the compounds, in the villages, doing nothing. Soon the crime rate will increase. There is no alternative given to these young people. They didn't go into these mining areas to play. They went to work. They want work. The form of mining that is there by transnational corporations. Take, for instance, KCM. KCM is supposed to be employing 15,000 people. That's what they were supposed to employ.
Yeah.
But today, they are only employing 5,000 people. And look at the wages. Skilled workers are said 4,300 per month. Unskilled 2,800. Mining is not easy. Today, a miner is earning the same amount of money that a house assistant or a house worker is earning for such risks, and they are dying. They are dying in these mines. What we are saying is, let's have an economy that recognizes the ownership by our people. These minerals are owned by the same people who have sent soldiers to chase.
Should we allow illegality to go on?
There's nothing.
We are supposed to stop illegality at the same time.
What illegality?
Illegal mining.
Let's go back.
That's the justification coming from the head of state.
To illegality. What is illegality? These mines that the transnational corporations today own were owned by our people. Before our people were mining. They were mining on the Copper Belt and other places. They owned these mines. Vamwisa didn't come to even to do serious exploration. They simply took over the mines of our people on the Copper Belt. The Lambas were mining there. The Kaondos were mining there. They simply took over their mines without compensation. Where is the illegality? Who is illegal? If we have to look at illegality, where is the illegality? And I've said, these minerals are owned by all of us collectively. If I go and try to get a benefit from what belongs to me, is that an illegality? All what government needs to do is provide the services required, provide the order required, together with these people, and let them mine. We are seeing what is happening in Ghana. They have wiped out what they are calling illegal mining. It's almost gone. Even the word illegal soon will disappear from the Ghanaian vocabulary. Let's help these young people who wanted to mine than chasing them with guns, than fumigating them, than exterminating them. Let's simply help them to mine. Provide the services that are required. Let's give them the best areas to mine in, where the minerals are much more to the surface and the cost of mining them is much lower. And where the concentration of minerals are higher, where the grades are higher. Let's put our people there. If they exhaust the capacity, it goes much underground, then we can move them to another place, and those with more resources can go deeper. Let's organize the purchasing, the selling of those minerals, so that the black market is taken away. What we need is more mining. The more people mine, the more people produce, the more income the country has. We are looking to hit 3 million tons production.
Yep.
We can easily hit it. if we allow mass mining, more of our people to mine as much as they can. But of course, let's provide an orderly manner of mining than chasing people and work with them. If a mine needs the policing, let's have police there together with the miners themselves, combining to produce the security that is required, an environment that is required. Let's send the leadership there. We can organize this much better. Right. What the government is trying to do is the easiest thing. Right. Exterminating people is easy.
And how sustainable.
And when you have a force of soldiers that you have trained that have got nothing to do, and you give them guns and you give them ammunition, to fire a gun is not difficult. To fumigate is not difficult. What is difficult is to provide a system that works to put these people into productive engagement. That's what we need. We need more mining. What are we going to do with all these people who are returning from these mines and they are now in the compounds doing nothing? So we are removing crime. What we are saying is crime from the mines and bringing it into the compounds now. They have already started breaking havoc because they have nothing. Break-ins in the houses at night will increase. Crime will increase. Are we going to send the soldiers again into the compounds to fumigate them from the compounds, exterminate them from the compounds? Soon they'll start coming even to where the leaders live, although they are properly secured. But there's no type of security. They will get them soon. Wow. What is needed is to provide our people with a source of livelihood. If we don't, what is the use of political leadership? What is the use of government? These people want to work, and you are telling them you can't work. They want to produce minerals. You are telling them you can't. Instead of finding a way to help them produce in an orderly, effective, and efficient manner. Even when they send these soldiers, soon the soldiers will engage in these illegalities of mining. We have seen it where ZNS was stationed there. Even the policemen who were in these areas, some of them are very rich today. Was that legal? The wealth they have acquired, the money they have acquired, is it legal, illegal? Our preoccupation should not be the issue of legality, illegality, and so on. Our preoccupation is to ensure that, our people earn a living in the most efficient way, in the most effective way, in the most orderly way. And that can be done. Sending soldiers to exterminate them, to fumigate them, is not the most efficient, is not the most effective, is not the most orderly way.
Right.
Giving our people 700 kwacha salary increment were IP today in this economy, and you are beating your chests, we have given them a huge salary increment. What is 700 kwacha? What can you do with 700 kwacha today? Let's not praise ourselves on little things. Our people are facing serious challenges. Let's address these issues in a serious way, not in a cosmetic way, not in a way to boast about this and that. Yes, there's politicians like to beat their own drums. But what is 700 kwacha? Even if the same people who say they have given 700 kwacha and it's a lot, they were given 700 kwacha today, what can they do with it? Every human being eats. And these people were given 700 kwacha, they eat much cheaper food than the other side. What can you do with 700 kwacha? Mushtemo talk time. Mushtemo amalasha. Electricity units. Pay for water. Pay for medicines. transport to and from, both for yourself and the children going to school and so on. What remains out of that 700 kwacha? I'm not criticizing the increment, but let's look at ways of sorting out problems in a much more impacting way. The impact of the 700 kwacha is so small. And the prices are not reducing, they are increasing.
Yeah.
They are increasing. Even Saraula is going up. What you could buy from 700 kwacha today, some time back, you used to maybe double or triple that. So it doesn't make sense.
I was about to get there, but allow me to shift the question to Dr. Membe here. The same question the voters are watching, and there is, a voter who feels hopeless right now. There is a civil servant right now who can't speak because by nature, some of them, they can't speak. And here is Dr. Membe, who has been in politics for quite longer. You've got experience. You have seen how some politicians perhaps have duped Zambians or the voters out there. And someone feels like, I can't vote. You come in as a People's Pact movement, a movement which wants to partner with that civil servant out there. My question to you is, how can we ensure that we begin to graduate, we begin to fulfill these promises? Dr. talks about, Comrade Membe, he talks about, illegal mining and how we can curb this so-called illegal mining phrase and get rid of it. I'll give an example of also of the current president. He's on record. When he was in the opposition, sitting on the side where you are right now, we interviewed HH. Just like the way I'm interviewing you and Dr. Comrade Membe there. He said, look, comrades, when we come in ourselves, there will be no illegal or person to be called an illegal miner, because we shall give them capital, number one. We shall go further to give them licenses, number two. But not only that, we will make sure that those people you are calling illegal miners, we will give them mining equipment, safety. But all those things have not been fulfilled. If something has been fulfilled, then maybe a few of them have been fulfilled. But where illegal mining is concerned, the UPND is still struggling. What is the issue?
Maybe before Dr. Membe comes
yes,
in,
Doc.
There's a point that I just left out on the 700s salary increment. Today, the civil servant who has been given a 700 kwacha salary increment is in a debt trap. The great majority of our civil servants are in a debt trap. When you are trapped, it means you can't come out on your own. That's what a trap is. When you are trapped, it's very difficult to wriggle your way out of the trap. Somebody has to untrap you. Somebody has to get you out of the trap. Today, the great majority of our public workers, our civil servants, are getting negative salaries. They are going home with 200 kwacha, 300 kwacha, which is not enough even for one bag of 25 kg meal. Right. And the people who have trapped them, it's the leaders of this country who own these financial institutions that lend money to our people. From the wage bill,
right,
deducted at the point of pay, running very easy businesses. From the payroll, these workers will not be able to get out of the debt trap. Even if you give them 700 kwacha, it's not getting them out of the debt trap. The same way we talk about the debt trap of the country, it's the same way we should talk about the debt trap of these public workers especially. And other workers outside the public sector. They're in a debt trap. It's wreaking havoc. They are not crying about it. They are not talking about it. They are suffering silently. But it's killing families. People are committing suicide, those who are weak, over the debt trap. They are killing themselves. They are taking their lives. People are getting into depression and dying of depression over the debt trap. People have hypertension as a result of the stress from the debt trap. Their sugar levels are rising from the debt trap. This debt trap is killing our people. Our leaders are not talking about it because they own the businesses. They are shareholders in these institutions, the major ones belong to them. They are the ones lending our workers money. You can't live like this. Every month, from month to month, is stress, increasing stress, increasing stress, increasing stress. It can't work that way. Again, it's not making promises or pointing out. And we are not saying we alone should solve these problems. And we alone have the monopoly of wisdom over these issues. But these are issues that cannot be left like this because they are killing people. We can't let people die like this. We can't let people be ruined like this. Lives are being ruined. Depression kills. Leaders should care about the plight of their people. Leaders should be pained by the stress or the distress of the people they lead. Leaders should care. If we don't have the solution as political leaders on our own, let's bring others. Let's bring other leaders. Let's bring the trade union leaders. Let's bring these civil servants or public workers and sit down with them. Let's bring the religious leaders also to help us. Let's bring the intellectual leaders also to help us solve these problems. I don't need to have solutions to each one of these problems on my own in my head. And that's why we need a collective leadership with others. I'm not claiming the monopoly of wisdom over these issues. But a good leader needs to understand what people are going through and should spend his or her time trying to find solutions to these issues. Can solutions be found to these issues? Certainly. These issues were created by us, human beings. They are not ordained on us by God. And since we created these problems, we have the capacity or the ability to solve them. And we must solve them.
Right.
Why are we not solving them? Partly it's greedy. These areas where our young people used to pick some stones, some minerals, today they are fenced. And who is doing that work? Who is running those businesses? The same people who lead us today. They are the ones benefited from the mine dumps and so on. They have collected all this, they have fenced them. Look at the names. Go to the Copper Belt and look at the names. Who is who? You will find there are people connected to the highest offices in the land, highest political offices. Why should they get this business that our people, a lot of young people used to share on the Copper Belt? And they have been living like that for the last 30 years, 40 years doing that. And you come and take away all that. As if it's the only business you have, but yet they have got so many other businesses that they are running. They can't leave these small businesses for others. They have to take everything. I could mention names, but I don't want to malign anybody. I don't want to appear petty. These are big issues. If they have got a conscience, they should realize that other people also have the right to live. have the right to earn a living. God did not put one person here and give him or her dominion over everything. This country belongs to all of us. And if it's not good for all of us, it won't be good for any of us. Eventually. That's what we are saying. These are not promises we are making. We are saying let's find solutions to this. Do we have ideas on how to solve them? Yes, we have. But that's not the most important thing. The most important thing is how collectively we deal with this problem. It's not our individual solution that really matter. What matters is our collective wisdom over these issues, our collective efforts over these issues.
I will come back to you. Let's hear from Dr. Membe. My question still stands with you. How can we ensure that we take away the tag of these illegal miners? But also, most importantly, is the issue of, by you, the politicians, failure to honor your own promises. Why don't you stick to the script you normally use in the opposition? When you get into government, you begin to behave the other way.
Thank you very much. One of the optics of this People's Pact is not just word and word. We've actually sat down together with the other stakeholders to actually come up with a charter to govern us before the elections of 2026, after the elections, and the first 5 years of the governance of the People's Pact movement.
Right.
Why have we taken time to do this? Because of the concerns we are raising and partly what President Membe has said in big volume.
Right.
The people of Zambia have been shortchanged by simply greed. Greed comes from mediocrity.
Right.
The leaders who have chosen to use the people of Zambia, harvest that power from them, because the power to govern is the people's. But the power to govern is theirs. So you harvest this power from them, and when it is entrusted in you, you start abusing the same people. So the change we are trying to bring is to change how this power is used. And it will be very important, comrade, that you look at what we've agreed upon initially.
Right.
Which is also subject to further refining.
Right.
Why so? Because when I talk about restructuring, this is the beginning of restructuring. It begins with the actors.
Right.
The actors must be put into a position where they have very little room to outmaneuver others. Because everybody is important. And this is only chastened in a legal framework because the People's Pact is a registered entity.
Right.
Because we challenge the Electoral Commission, Brown Kasalo is now saying, no, go and register it at the
Register of Societies.
Whatever. That is not our interest. There's a registered political party in the Socialist Party. We are using it as a SPV for electoral purposes. There is this political party, we can use it for anything else. There's another political, we can use it for anything. But what we've done is to look at the challenge as it is. And how do we make sure that Dr. Fred Membe will not be, if he is, will not chameleon and become a greedy president or a greedy person, and he becomes runaway president. We've had to agree so that he'll be held accountable for what he's signed for, not what he has agreed to only, but what he's signed for. By, you said the word endorsed. Endorsement is not only one way.
Right.
It can be two ways.
Right.
In a contract or an agreement, or into a charter, or a treaty. What we are doing exactly that, like we have to hold ourselves accountable to certain benchmarks and yardsticks before we get into that power. And I talked of a covenant. Extend it, there will be other covenants. What are these covenants? UIP can enter into a covenant not with Dr. Fred Membe, not with Simiemba, but with the People's Pact government in waiting. You as an individual have got this right. Why have we opened it this far and this way? Is to allow for this amiss inclusivity and participatory issues by the citizens of this country. President has gone further to break it very simply. This country belongs to all of us. God did not make a mistake. Why should it be that some of us or a few of us, when we are into this privileged position, we start, one, abusing the trust of others, and we start abusing them? Why should it be like that? Then we are into direct collision with the thinking of God. And this is a Christian country. So why don't we reset just a little bit to say, no, I think this power must be used and administered like this, so that it becomes effective in the way we provision for our people, by they themselves having a bite and a say. It's very, very important. You see, we can go into individual examples. There are so many. But the starting point, or the fundamentals, you may wish to call it, is that people must participate. And it must be intentionally structured with minimum ambiguity, that this is what we want and this is where we want to go. And we set those, and we start evolving on the policy, laws, what. You know, government is governed by laws. So even the laws must be reset to speak to this, what we're speaking about. Because you can't just make laws from nowhere, policies from nowhere. The participation, the emotions, the thing that people want must be put in black and white. We've already started that. We've done that. You need to look at these charters and you see that we are first holding ourselves accountable.
Right.
And then we have to be accountable to the people who we go to harvest power from. So really, the missing link has been not the resources, not the leadership, but those political actors who come to be in these privileged positions. That has been the missing link. If you come to mining, have a special session where we come and ask us. We'll give you our proposals, our thinking. Not that is apex wisdom, but we will put a proposal to the Zambian people. This is how we think. You come to agriculture, say this is how we think. Come to energy, this is how we think. Come to education, come to health. We'll be able to say our proposal.
We're going to have, I think, quite a number of series as we go on. I know this is an election time, so people, I think it will be important to hear much more from the People's Pact movement going forward. So I think we'll be able to discuss that.
Maybe I just add one thing on
yes, Doc.
The question you asked.
Yes, Doc.
Chachine, our people have been lied to for a long time. vaveepwa pafula. Our people have been betrayed for a long time by their leaders. And this must come to an end. Right. And that's why we are saying, take kuchinja fechi panichire teka nakateka olipo. Kuchinje mitekere. Ngata tuchinjishe mitekere, our people will be lied to again and again and again. If you have been lied to several times, you must take the necessary precautions to ensure that you are not lied to anymore. Comrade IP, you are a journalist. You should ask the People's Pact, what is in it for me as a journalist? Or as a group of us as journalists, what is in it in the People's Pact government? Dr. Membe will tell you A, B, C, D. You say, no, that's not enough. We also want E, F, G, and so on. Correct. If they say yes, you say, okay, let's sit down and have an agreement. You put all those things and agree. You support the People's Pact on that condition. That's a charter that has been signed by the People's Pact with the journalists, either as individually or collectively as a profession. We sign that charter. And you are there to monitor. And in part of the charter, there must be a mechanism for you to ensure that you participate in realizing those goals, those objectives, in a clear way. You have to participate from day one. You should say, natufika. Mukwae nifitua mfueni. We have come to start implementing what we agreed from day one. If not, vala minyunya. These so-called illegal miners, they need also to sign a charter with the People's Pact saying, you are saying this, these are our demands, these are our needs, this is what we want. We'll support the People's Pact if we agree on this.
Can they do it again? Because they've done it before. Illegal miners have done it before, where they are being called by a leader.
There was no charter.
There was no charter.
There was no charter, and there was no mechanism for implementation in which they participated. They were told, we'll do this for you. It was not that we'll do it together. It can't be for the miners without the miners. It has to be for the miners with the miners. It has to be for the journalist with the journalist. If anybody just tells you that it will be for you minus you, it's highly unlikely it will happen. There has to be a marriage. And a marriage is coming together, working together. You can't have a marriage where there's no interface. Where somebody will just be doing things for you. What you have today, the little things you have today, fintu mwachulira mwevene, tuntu mwachulira mwevene, tuntu mwaichitira mwevene, tuntu mwaifoera mwevene. Tapaliwa mipirapo na mchimo. Even what they say that they have given you this, they have given you that, when you analyze it critically, it comes from you. It's yours. They are trying to give you what is yours and pretend they have given you. Why can't you be there where what is yours is being managed, is being dispensed? And that's why we are saying we want a government in which our people can participate. And the people participate through their leaders. Your own leaders, you've got your own leaders in your profession. Participate through your leaders where it's not possible to participate directly. Where it's possible to participate directly, participate directly. Not waiting that people will do this for you, they will do that for you. They don't do it. If you wait, probably even Dr. Membe will not do it. Fred Membe will not do it. And that's why we are saying there has to be a change in approach, in a change in implementation, in a change in realization of what we've agreed. It's not promises. It's an agreement. We are not promising you. We are agreeing to work together to achieve certain things for you, with you. Is it going to be easy? No, it's not going to be easy. But if we fail, we will fail together. It will not be us who have failed to deliver. It will be collectively who have failed to achieve what we had set ourselves to achieve. In that way, you won't accuse me that I lied to you. I don't want to get out as a liar. I don't want to carry that tag for the rest of my life. I don't have much life to live to correct all those things. The years remaining are few. I don't want to go to my grave having lied to the Zambian people, having lied to certain groups of Zambians, having lied to certain Zambian individuals. We have to take care in what we agree also. That's why we will discuss. It's not just putting a shopping list. No, we discuss. You are saying this should be done. What about this? What about that? In the end, we agree on what is achievable, what is tenable, what is realistic in our circumstances. If there are obstacles, we come together and say, hey, there's this obstacle that we never foresaw. How do we deal with it? We agree again on how to deal with something that we never foresaw.
Right.
But there has to be some honesty. But again, let's not be taken for a ride cheaply. Where individuals say, if you vote for me, nkamipere ifi, nkamichire ifi, nkamiretere ifi, ifi tarafikirisha. And today with the social media, it's very easy to popularize oneself. Push in more money into the social media, you get certain results, then they start saying, oh, it's popular. Popular for what? What makes you me popular? I start going around, I'm the most popular, but member says, Fred Membe, vote for him, join him, the most popular. Without asking, what has made Fred Membe the most popular? Why is he popular? How is he popular? Where is he popular? When did he become popular? What is he popular for? We need to ask these questions. If not, you'll be fooled. You'll be fooled by manipulation of the social media. And you take yourself to a slaughter. You create a monster of your own. We don't have time. 61 years after independence, we cannot go for cheap experimentation and carelessness in constructing leadership. Leadership matters. Leadership of a country, of a community matters. Even biblically, we are told, where you don't have good leaders, there are problems. Let's construct a leadership that we can work with to get out of our problems. So let's pay attention to the construction of the leadership. Let's get it right this time. We can't afford to get it wrong.
Right.
Let's not go for cheap populism. Let's not go for cheap sloganeering. We have done that before, but look where we are.
Chimwela.
Yes, let's not go for Chimwela. Let's be realistic. This is more than 61 years after independence. We can't behave like, it's a first year of independence. We have to face the problems squarely now. Let's not use our emotions, let's use our hearts. If we don't understand, let's go and pray and seek guidance from God so that we make the right decisions. Let's not behave like people who are drunk or who have smoked. Let's be realistic, let's be sober. This is not a time for experimentation. This is not a casino. Let's not choose leadership like we're in a casino, gambling.
No.
It's not kadabra, no.
And just to add one small thing on that.
Yes, Doc.
Yeah. You see, if a lot of charters are signed, a lot of them, Imagine we've got yours, he's got his, the farmers have got theirs, lawyers have got, all these civil servants have got, trade unions have got, the church have got. Tell me if there are 20, 30, 50 charters, and then a president or a government chooses to go against these people, you'll just be saying, what kind of a government are you? What kind of a government are you? What kind of a government are you? Do you need to even debate? You don't need to. Because the signature of those in government will speak volumes of who they are. But in addition to what the President has said, the evaluation of a leadership begins now. We are appealing to all walks of Zambians. Come to the People's Pact. We shall be advertising where we are found across the breadth and length of the country, so that you find us, you engage us, and you'll be able to hold us accountable. We do not want to experiment. Let's discuss how we deal with our problems today, so that the future generations are guaranteed. We cannot be gambling anymore. At least for us, we are saying we do not want, borrowing his word, abracadabra kind of leadership. We don't want. Where you are saying something today, tomorrow you come and do 180 U-turn without even blinking, lying through your mouth, through your teeth. It's very dangerous.
Let's deal with matters of corruption, Doc, and also, I mean, you are both doctors. That's one thing I'm grateful about this interview. So Dr. Simiemba and also Comrade Dr. Fred Membe, let's deal with matters of corruption, the corruption fight in Zambia. If you ask those in power, unfortunately, I can only refer to the current administration because they're the ones in power today. They will tell you that it hasn't been easy for them to transform the country or the economy to the levels where it is today. When they came in, they found a lot of problems. When they came in, they will justify to you that they found the coffers were empty. There was no money, so to say. The mining sector was almost dead. Corruption was at peak. And the HH comes in and they tell you and I that, look, we are going to fight corruption tooth and nail. 5 years down the line, a few months before the general election, how would you evaluate or assess the UPND's fight against corruption? In line of that, doctors, permit me to give a reference to what happened about a fortnight ago, where we did see the son to the late President Dr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu in Daliso Lungu, who lost properties in corruption-related matters, as it were. Where are we, Dr. Simiemba?
My brother, corruption is a vice that eats up the very fabric of society. Corruption is not a simple linear crime. Corruption is complicated. The question before us is that, have the people before us not been saying or fighting corruption? We'll go back to what we've been insisting on, because if we go in church's arrangement of saying they've done this, they've not done this, the Zambian people are there to judge. The fight of corruption is a societal challenge. It cannot be fought by one person. What we've seen in the MMD, in the UPND, is nothing but lawfare. Lawfare in the sense that they are using the law to fix their friends, saying that these are corrupt. Meanwhile, they are also corrupt. The people of Zambia are seeing 5 years is not a small period. The people of Zambia are seeing. So we can start listing what they've not done, but that will not change what must be done. For us, the fight against corruption begins from the way you set the governance parameters. If people participate, everybody's getting a cake from the nation treasury and assets and resources. Who is going to corrupt who? I'll give you a very simple example. When we were growing up, ayamataba mule monaya twalela adika amasaka panse mumusebofye. No one was still, because everybody was producing maize. They were real bumper harvests. Today washafe kameda palia walasa ngana batapa na beba. Nemo ko bene balasa to babebe. Why? There is poverty. There is lack. There is hunger. Though Mwetwa sees it differently. Hakainde sees it differently. The people are able to feed it. People are corrupting because they daily need services and goods. People are getting corrupted because they lack. Even those who have in government, who agreed, they go into this equation. Fighting corruption is not a linear thing, and will be able to demonstrate how a government reset, organized, and a fair government can allow for inclusivity and participation and deal with these vices without even spending too many millions of dollars or kwachas. It's possible, it's doable, but you need people to be there. How can you be corrupt? How can I corrupt you when we all participate? No one is left outside. We are all into it. How do we start corrupting each other? How do we start stealing? We are transparent. We are participating. When we say there's a budget here, we are all seeing what is happening here. We are all participating in the decisions. We are seeing the disbursements. How do you become corrupted? How do I corrupt you? How do you corrupt me? Because we are into it. But when it's them and us, and we are very few here, you can do anything, move on to solo, and this is what is the status quo now.
Right.
I just want to end there,
yes,
to leave Dr. Fred to amplify.
Doc, you may pick it up from there.
The fight against corruption will not achieve much if it's not based on noble and selfless sentiments. But again, even if it's based on noble and selfless sentiments, it also needs to be based on correct and fair ideas and practices. If someone says, or I stand up and say, what I have today, what you have arrested me for, was given to me by Comrade IP, by Innocent Piri, Evan Perefi. For you to grab that from me, you need also to prove that Innocent Piri, one, either did not give me what I purport to have been given by him. Two, what he gave me was not his. It was stolen. Then you can take it away. President Edgar Lungu's family, the members of his family who are in court today, most of them, if not all of them, have said what they have grabbed from them, what they are prosecuting them for, was given to them by their father or their husband. That's what they are saying. I do not recall or remember any time President Lungu was taken to court or anywhere to be interrogated on what he gave to his wife, to be interrogated on what he gave to his children, or any court record that has found that President Lungu stole. There's no case that I can remember, as far as I'm concerned, that showed that Mr. Lungu stole, and here is a conviction. So what he gave to his children was stolen property. What he gave to his wife was stolen. They never called him to and asked him about those things or arrested and prosecuted him for those things. So how do they grab these things? Again, that's why we are saying there's need to have the fight against corruption based on noble and selfless sentiments, and equally or likewise based on fair ideas and practices. Can what has happened be said to be noble and selfless? Can it be said to be based on fair and correct principles? I say no. Let's do things the right way. Even if it calls for our greatest effort, let's do them the right way. And things in these cases have not been done the right way. They have not been done the right way. And even the timing of all these things, why not pend these cases until President Lungu is buried? You can't do that to a family that is in mourning. You are piling up more and more pressure on them. Where is the humanity? Where is the compassion? For us, the fight against corruption will not start with anybody else. We have said this repeatedly. It will start with ourselves. We have no right to fight the corruption of others before we start fighting the corruption of our own. If we come into government in August this year, the first fight against corruption is of ourselves. We have no moral right whatsoever to start fighting the corruption of the previous regime or regimes without starting of our own.
You have to clean your house.
Yes. Are there corrupt people in SP? Are there going to be corrupt people in the People's Pact? They will. There will be corrupt elements in SP. We have said it, we get into office in August, by December, there will be some people from SP who are under prosecution or have been convicted and they are in jail for corruption. Why do I say so? We are not perfect people. There are comrades who you give them 1,000 kwacha for a party activity, maybe they will deliver 200 or 100 kwacha. The rest they pocket. And those comrades will not stop at party money. They will go for government money, which is more. And it won't take long before we catch up with them. And there will be no exemption from president all the way down. We have to account. We can't call other people to virtues which we ourselves are not ready to practice or abide by. We can't. The corruption index that has just been released, I was reading in the newspaper today, we have dropped by 7 places.
Right.
In short, corruption is increasing, it's not reducing. So what corruption are our friends fighting that is increasing? Yeah? Who from the UPND has gone in? Who is close to Mr. Hichilema has gone in for corruption? Are you telling me there's corruption free in this UPND government? They are so virtuous? They are so holy? Certainly not. The same charges PF people are facing in court. Today, if UPND was fair in applying the law, there would be so many people from UPND who are living beyond their end income, who have assets they cannot explain. The same issues of vehicles that are beyond their earnings. How many from UPND will be arrested today? People who were walking in August 2021, they had no vehicle. Look, go to their houses and see how many vehicles are parked there today. That cannot be explained by their income, their end income. How many businesses do they have? How many houses do they have? Can they explain them? Have they been called to explain? The only people you hear being called to explain their wealth is from the PF government. Is that the way things should be? If where the UPND today is where the People's Pact government is, together with the Socialist Party, you would see so many people from the Socialist Party being asked to explain how they have acquired this and that. Mm. And if they fail, they would go to jail. There are so many people in UPND today who have a lot of wealth. Do we have to wait for the next government to come and start calling them? Is that the way it should be? The fight of corruption is not a one-off thing. It's a continuous process. Mm. It's a continuous process of refining ourselves, of self-correction. Weaknesses should be rectified. Mm. Mistakes should be corrected as we go. We shouldn't wait for the next regime to come and deal with the previous regime. That will not be a fight against corruption. That will be just retribution. It will be vengeance. It will be something else. We want to avoid that.
Right. Dr. Simiemba, as we go, I would want you to face into the camera and speak to the Zambian out there. What should Zambians expect in the next 5-6 months from now as we go to the elections? And why should the voter out there decide to vote on the People's Pact movement, which is a combination of the Socialist Party and its leader, Dr. Fred Membe, who has also been endorsed or picked as a presidential candidate for the People's Pact movement, together with your team?
Thank you very much. A very quick comment and appeal to the Zambian people. My fellow countrymen, you've seen alliances come and go. Some have been born stillbirth. But here is a People's Pact. A pact that has been there from 2011 up to now. We have already a settled and chosen candidate to lead us into the election of 2026. That is Dr. Fred Membe. Why have we chosen Dr. Fred Membe? I think praises will not cause any difference. Dr. Fred Membe has distinguished himself not only in politics, but in business and in career. I urge all of you to interrogate us collectively who are working with Dr. Fred Membe, and those people are going to join us that will do as we are talking, will do as people expect us. And that can only come by you, the Zambian people, coming to join the flanks of the People's Pact. You are all welcome, and let us transform this country together, because this is the agenda of the People's Pact, not only us, the political actors, but all the stakeholding citizens of this country. Zambia is for all of us, and may God bless you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Membe, for that. Let's hear from Doc. When you formed the Socialist Party, you've been leading thousands of people. Now, your family has grown from Socialist Party members countrywide. You now have the People's Pact movement, which has picked on you from all the political parties, or amongst all the political parties or the political party alliances we have in Zambia. You've been singled out, meaning that you've got a huge responsibility going to the election this year. The question I have for you is, why should Zambians vote for the People's Pact movement together with your entire family members under SP?
The Zambian people have seen a lot. They know where they are coming from. They know where they are today. And they know where they want to be. Each mission, each objective, each assignment to succeed, to be achieved, requires the right type of people to lead it. Even a family requires good leadership to prosper, to succeed, to be a good family. A country is not an exception. You, the Zambian people, know the track record of almost all your leaders who have been put up to lead you. You know some of them, how they exercised power when they had it, or certain responsibilities when they were entrusted to do so. It is up to you. You also have a responsibility just as much as we have. We on our own cannot deliver the Zambia you want. Firstly, we cannot make ourselves the leaders that the country needs. It's you to make us the leaders that the country needs. It's you to choose the leadership of our country. The leadership you choose will determine where you will be tomorrow, without exception. Choose the leadership that is courageous, that is brave, that is honest, that cares, that has got a bit of wisdom, or that is wise. It gets dark sometimes, but the morning comes. Every night has got its morning. Bulela, but no kuchabulacha. Let's not lose hope because of the challenges we face today. I know some of you are not having it easy. You go to bed, under the cover of the blanket, you cry because of the burdens that you have. Let's not break down. Let's pick ourselves up and soldier on. With faith and with a program or a plan, we will succeed. We will overcome the challenges we face. There will be no mountain we will fail to climb. There is no river we will fail to cross. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's been an interview with the two doctors. Comrade Membe, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Great. Dr. Membe, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, and God bless you.
Thank you so much. You've been watching the bigger program right here on KBN TV, and I am your host, Innocent Piri. Be back again next week with another episode. Thank you so much for watching. May God bless Zambia. May God bless Mother Africa. Good night.